Hi, I'm Tony Lombardi with Russell Street Report here with Dev Panchwagh. Also with Russell Street Report, we're breaking down the Ravens free agents, upon which Eric DeCosta will have to make some decisions come March 17th at 4 p.m. And next couple guys I want to go over with you, Dev. First guy up is Fluker.
Yes.
Fluker. CJ Fluker. So
I don't know if
my
play
quick
on
take
words
on
here.
him is that I don't think I've ever seen an offense. Of course, we pay more attention to the Ravens than we do other teams, but I've never seen an offense rotate a right tackle position as much as the Ravens did in 2020. And if I had to read between the lines, I would think that it was one of two things: either a matchup situation that Joe D'Alessandris wanted to take advantage of on the offensive line, or maybe they just weren't happy with his play in a given day and they pulled him out of the game. I'm not sure. So your assessment of Fluker in 2020, and do you think he'll be a Raven in 2021?
Yeah, I think it's interesting how they handled him, and I don't know if it just was a complete bust at right guard, and they had him pegged as a starter, I think, on the depth chart going into the season, and he just didn't grab the spot. Then they had to figure out between him and Phillips who would play. Right tackle ended up becoming a hole unexpectedly, so I don't know if that played a part in also just kind of the idea of just throwing stuff up against the wall. I'm not trying to knock the Ravens in that respect. Like, I know they have more foresight than that, but things happen. And he just couldn't get any traction in this scheme. And I think he might be a player that just is past his prime. And even when he was playing well at his highest level, he was never a guy with quick feet and never really was good in space and some of the things they require from their right guard in particular. Right tackle, I think he's definitely out. So it's kind of, is he able to play inside a guard? And now the Ravens seem to be kind of fortified there a little bit. So I'd be surprised, other than, if he's willing to come back, he'd be probably a decent backup. And if he's willing to do that, I think he'd be back.
Yeah, I just think he's a guy who, as you indicated, maybe past his prime, a guy who really did a nice job last off season getting himself into shape, because he was in probably the best shape that he's been in since he was a rookie. Yep. So I give him credit for that, but it still didn't change how slow his feet are, Dev. And I think that makes him a liability as a tackle. And we've seen just guys just blow his doors off. So I'm going to say the Ravens, if the Ravens bring back DJ Fluker, it's because they haven't improved the offensive line this offseason the way they want to.
Absolutely. It would not be a good sign. Let's just say that. No offense to him, but a backup, I think, totally fine potentially with that, because he can play a couple positions on the right side, and that he adds that value.
So next up is a guy who has been talking a lot on social media these days, Matthew Judon. Your thoughts?
He's the guy.
We all know that he was a really important player in Wink's scheme, that he's versatile. He's improved over the years in coverage. And he plays the run decently. He's improved on that in the last couple of years. And he's a good pass rusher, not a great pass rusher, but a good pass rusher. But I think the rub with Judon is he wants to be paid like a great player, and I don't know that he is a great player.
Yeah, and you could argue what does that even mean in this market? Who's a great player? Who's worth getting paid? But the guys that show up and get those sacks and get the pressures, like Shaq Barrett, they're going to justify themselves to be able to make that money. Judon, again, is a guy that has done well in this scheme, though. Like you said, they've really deployed him a lot. And to his credit, he's been able to do that, right? Like, it's not easy to play the run and then cover,
right,
and then rush the passer. His snaps did go down some last year. I think partly he missed a couple games. He also they tried to manage him with Yannick Ngakoue, also Tyus Bowser. So he was a team player. And like you said, he makes impact plays, Tony. They need a play on third down, goal line situation. He gets in the backfield, he gets stopped. He consistently does that. And he does get some hits on the quarterback. The thing is that he doesn't finish as much, but he still was their best pass rusher last year. Just up, consistently was able to win his one-on-ones, but he got freed up more by Calais Campbell, Derek Wolfe. So that opened up some more. You nailed it. He's a very good player. It's just a price situation. If they brought him back, it would be totally fine. And I think he's a good fit personality-wise with them, and he understands the defense really well, and he's a good fit for wing.
Yeah, I wonder sometimes with players like Judon, if their agents are saying, let's get a fair deal with your current team, really blow it out in 2021. So when the cap picks back up in 2022, that maybe there's going to be more money in the marketplace and we can cash in next year. You wonder if those kinds of conversations are going on. And I think that's the only way he comes back as a Raven, if that kind of conversation is going on and the Ravens take advantage of it, and then he's a free agent in 2022. But they obviously weren't going to tag him. It was going to be too expensive. And so I think, all things considered, the way he's talking on social media, I think he's gone, Dev. And I think we're going to say thank you very much for the years of service, but we're not going to pay you for the years you've done. We want to pay you what you think you're going to do going forward. And I think that he thinks he's worth a lot more than he is to the Ravens.
Yeah, another in a long line of players like that, right?
Yeah. Well, you can't keep them all, right?
Exactly.
So, okay, it's Tony Lombardi and Dev Panchwagh signing off. Thanks for listening.